90s, my father had received a fax from a woman named Oralee Carroll, who was a community organizer in Larmer. And the fax was the home that his grandparents built in Larmer at Thompson and Joseph Street, which was on sale for $800. So my father decided he knew that Jody was doing street ministry and that she had kind of after-school programs, and he knew her, I think, through the business. She was like an interior designer, I believe, at Burt Hill. So he invited her to the office to present an idea that we would buy the house, renovate it, and give it to her for after-school stuff. In that meeting, which was the first time that I had met Jody Moore, she told us that they were actually going to start a school. And I really liked what she was talking about, and she invited any of us who were in the meeting, I think two of my brothers were there too, to a meeting at Lucy Douglas's house where the group who was discussing this was going to meet. I went to that meeting. I remember a man named Chenzi Brignano being there. He was, I think, with the Alcoa Foundation, but he had studied charters for Duquesne University. And I bring him up for one reason. He essentially told us in that meeting that we were going to have an incredibly difficult time making this work because we weren't attached to a mothership, that we were on our own, and that it's going to be incredibly hard to raise money if you don't have an institution behind you. At that meeting, they set up a next meeting, and I went to that one, and I just stuck. So I was mentioning that I was never formally asked to be on the board. I just started going to these meetings, and many of them were at the Eden Park in Squirrel Hill. And after a while, it began to give me anxiety that we were talking about starting a school, but we weren't picking a school year. So at the next meeting, I raised my hand for the first time and said, I think if we're going to start a school, we need to pick a school year. We need to start working backwards and identifying all of the things that have to be done and assigning responsibility to the group. I was then invited to lunch where they asked me to be chairman of the board. And I said, there's no way. Like, I don't even think I'm on the board, first of all. Secondly, I've never been on a board. I don't know the first thing about being a board member, let alone running a board. I've got two kids that are on the way. I'm still learning our business. I'm still new enough that it won't be that much work. Don't worry, it won't be. And I was just telling Micah that the one factor that weighed in favor of me saying yes was we were supposed to be at East Liberty Presbyterian Church. So I knew that the one thing we didn't have to do was find property and build anything out. So I said yes. About a minute later, they said, there's something we need to talk to you about. We don't have a place for the school. We have to find a... So we scrambled a bit, and we settled on the Community of Reconciliation, 5th and Belfield in Oakland. And we ran summer school there, and it was really obvious by the end of summer school that there was no way we were going to be able to run school. It was, we were being shushed all the time. There wasn't enough space. So we scrambled, and we found Champion Commons, I want to say like 30 days before we actually opened it. And we had to build it out and get State Department of Education to come in, inspect, and approve, which we did, and the rest is history. I have many memories through that. One of my first was sitting with Tom and Jody in anticipation of being a board chair and having people report to me from the school. And I asked them, who's ultimately responsible here? Which one of you two like? And they said, we both are. I was like, how's that gonna work? Like, well, basically Jody's fundraising and public relations, Tom's gonna take care of the school. And I said, well, what if you have a disagreement? Oh, we rarely disagree. but it worked. And in all our accreditation processes and tours, that was the one thing that they saw as incredibly unique. But it's also something that they would always cite as future improvement to streamline the organizational chart. But yeah, there were the first gala that we had. The cool thing about being involved at that time was we were involved in all the firsts, right? We were the first graduating class. We had the first college acceptance. The first gala, the first songs and carols. It was all a fresh journey. It was and we struggled. I would tell you, I lost more sleep over this place than I ever did at our business, because we had to raise a lot of money privately every single year. Our commitment to prayer kept us out of a lot of government money. So it was a constant ask, and there were only a few times where we, I think, had to use our line of credit. But every time that we were like right up against the edge, the community would come through and something wouldn't happen. And it was just a constant affirmation that we're on the right path, we're doing the right thing. No, but it's just what I said. It was always just this belief in what we were doing. And as Tom would always say, if we're staying true to our mission, this will never be easy. And he's right. If we're educating kids that are falling behind in their current environments, who come from backgrounds that give them challenges, and we're preparing them for college and beyond, there's no easy way to do that other than what we do here, which is be the adults, be in charge, love the kids, and expect them to do the work. The Neighborhood Academy has been courageous.